So do you feel like, though, that did social media, for instance, inform your perception of what beauty is?
I think for me, more than anything, my experience informed my belief.
Okay.
Let's start from the beginning. So you should know that the boy's dad, who is now deceased, Dominic, was from Ghana. Shout out to the Ghanaians. And that I was born in Liberia, West Africa. Double shout out to Liberia and to the Liberians. And so I remember this one story that really stuck with me. And it was about, Devin was about 4 going on 5, and Reese was about going on 2. And we made our first trip with them to Africa. We would go 3 weeks for vacation at the end of the year. And I will never forget us getting off the plane and Devin saying, "Oh my gosh, Mom, everybody here is Black." What? I looked at Dom looked at me, and we were like, yeah. But inside we were like, what? Because it never occurred to us that he hadn't been exposed to that, even though for us, that was normal, right? Growing up for us, everybody was Black. The president, the vice president, the teachers, the nurses, everything. So it wasn't even a thing. But for him, we had moved to a primarily Caucasian town, which I love, by the way. And his exposure had been quite different. In fact, he was the minority from that perspective. And that was the first time that really hit us, right? And I will never forget making a promise, a commitment to myself walking out of that airport that I would need to be especially careful about reinforcing the beauty of his dark brown and Black skin that he was in, right? And because for us, beauty was not a thing that was multiracial for a very long time. It was just different flavors of Black and brown, right? And so to then see him experience it from a totally different dimension made it important for us to talk about. And the best way I could talk about it for his little age at that point was coming back and having him go to school, and on the first day back to school saying, "All right, love you, BB." And he would say, "Love you, BB," back, because we had decided in that moment to coin a phrase, a nickname called BB for Beautiful Black. And I wanted to make sure every time he walked out the door, he took that with him, right? And so I'm not surprised to now hear Reese say what he says, because we have exposed him to very multiracial experiences across his entire educational experience, which is the bulk of his life. So to hear him say that is not surprising, but it is very different than my experience. And I had to acknowledge that. Back to the episode.
I know a lot of people who their beauty standards are based on social media and this, that, and the third, right? For me, I can I've met people who genuinely maybe oh, they see one race as I can only find these kind of people attractive.
Right.
And for me, that's never been the case. I've always been able to see all races as attractive.
Okay.
And I would actually have arguments with my friends about stuff like that, because I'm like, what are we we're not looking at the same thing.
Okay.
So I think that there's a level of people have genuinely put stock into that.
Okay.
I never put stock into that. I just kind of did my thing with basketball, maybe posted basketball pictures,
Right.
posted some pictures on myself, I've been the same dude. So,
Right. What do you think?
I really like that question because it brings together a few things that he mentioned and some of my own thoughts on beauty and social media. One is social media really has evolved, specifically Instagram. I'm much older than you guys. So even before that, there was AIM and all these chat rooms. So it's went from just chatting to having pictures, right? And you were sharing all these statuses through pictures. Now it's very curated through pictures. So I think for me, social media has taught me what people react to. And that may have shifted my perception on beauty in the sense of my social media is very curated.
Okay.
In the sense of it's a lot of very dolled up pictures of me and things like that. And those will do numbers. Right?
Right.
But then when I don't mind going in public with no makeup and just being more casual.
Right.
When I share those moments as much, they don't get
Pop
that same engagement.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just interesting to see how people react to different versions of me.
Mhm.
So I feel like for me, sometimes social media makes me feel like there's multiple versions of Lucy.
Mm.
And I even had
Right.
one person comment one time, and they were just like, there's like Lucy that we get outside, and
Right.
then Lucy we get like when we're just like inside
Yeah.
chilling.
Right.
And I think it's good or bad, but like I
Right.
think that perception has really made me like question, hey, like what am I perceiving when I'm going out?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's interesting the version of you that lives in other people's heads.
Yeah.
Because, like, as he said, like,
I love that.
yeah, I mean, like, I feel like my social media is definitely a copy of a copy. Like the way that I act, just like in my day-to-day life, whether it's at school or whether it's like even here. I mean, it's less so here, but like, it's not like that's not my true self. Like, if I were to show you like who I really am, like you probably, you know what I'm saying? You'd probably be like, oh, that guy's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like that, but that's just how it is.
Right.
And I think that outside of that, then you're posting that your posting relates to the person that people perceive you to be.
Right.
Right. So in that, all they're seeing is the person that they think you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then they react to the person that they think you are. And then if you show yourself as being better than the person that they think you are,
Right.
then now they're thinking of you in a 2 times higher standard than you truly are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think once we have the understanding that social media is that for everybody, and sometimes it could be even more than that for other people,
right,
then we start to like take the value away from like how much stock we put into it.
Right.
Like even the explore pages, right? People's explore pages are built by what they like and what they react to.
Mm.
Some people's explore pages, some guys' explore pages are just a bunch of girls in bikinis. Just like all you scroll.
I'm sorry, educate me on the explore pages.
The explore.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so your explore page, most apps at this point, if you tap into it, whether it's the main page or it's like a page you click onto,
right,
it's just like all new content. It's not the people you follow.
Okay.
And that's when people say like the algorithm, right? So your explore page will put people kind of like how he said, like either you've interacted with similar content or you've liked similar content. And they'll fill that page to try to expose you to new content, but it's driven by data and numbers, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think a lot of people with social media, they say, hey, like some groups might not do as well on social media because if the algorithm is based on seeing these faces as they do well and they get people to stay on the apps longer,
right,
then that content will go get more exposure.
Which is why I feel like for me and him, like, I don't know if I can't speak for him, but like for me, my explore page is more like tailored to like I use it more for like personal like self-improvement. So like for me, like whether it's my TikTok or my Instagram,
right,
like my explore pages are full with basketball stuff, basketball workouts, Kobe Bryant,
right,
like a bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
Like to like because that's what I interact with. That's what I care about.
Right.
Like it's not going to be full. You know what I'm saying?
I get basketball too because of you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's not full of girls. Like that's just never been what my explore page has ever been. So it's been weird sometimes because I don't really see other people's phones or go through their Instagram. But like when they'll go on Instagram and I see explore pages, I'm like, bro, what's going on over here?
Let's fast forward though to how you see yourself, right? Like you said, you're not the type of person who's very informed by it. But let's say you're interacting with a person who is, right? Do you feel like sometimes there's a disconnect there because of their like intense connection to it? No? Okay. You just don't surround yourself with those type of people? Or?
It's not even that. I mean, I just charge to the game. I mean, people like what they like.
Right.
Like, and people are informed by whatever they want to be informed by. If they decide that this thing is important to them, it's not important to me, it's no sweat off my back. I mean,
you're good with it.
Yeah, I mean, and
it doesn't hinder your connection. Like they don't say, "Oh, did you see this on this social media platform? Did you see that? Did you catch that?" You know what I mean? Like it seems like a lot of your conversation is around what was posted. Like I even hear the two of you talking sometimes, and it seems like a lot of your conversation is around what somebody posted somewhere about something: music, basketball, sports, whatever. Right? So it almost feels like. Can you conversate without talking about something that was posted on social media with people you know?
For sure we can.
I mean, I feel like a lot of that stuff, it's like, think about it like this. Think about like reading the newspaper and then talking with somebody about the newspaper.
Okay. That's the analogy to that now.
I mean, like if I go on basketball
But it's a huge newspaper.
Yeah, but like if it is. But like if I go on Instagram and see that a trade is happening or somebody's thinking about making a trade, and that could be in the newspaper, and I get it, and then go over to my friend's house and I go talk to him about it. It's the same thing.
Right.
But the thing is, it's a lot more accessible for us because that's just the way our generation is right now.
Right.
But I feel like people are, I wouldn't say that they're influenced like heavily by the information, but rather like people's opinions and stuff are influenced by like what they choose to consume, right? Like Devin said, like you get to choose what becomes your reality and what you make to be, oh, this is what's important to me.
Right.
You know? So with that, it's like, you don't know how authentic of a person you're getting, but like all you can do is be true to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, son.
I would say for my friend group, we do use Instagram a lot or social media in general. Because I feel like we're all kind of on different platforms. So we'll send things like in our text message thread, like links to different platforms and things we've seen. And it definitely influences us. Yeah. Just because I feel like now, like, we'll see things once and then the jokes that we have for like the next few weeks are like built off of those things that we've seen. I spend a lot of time like commuting to and from work. Right. So like my way of decompressing is like I'm constantly sending videos that I think are funny to the people around me. And then when you have conversations later and you see them like repeating it, I'm like, oh, so one, you saw it. Right. And two, it's just like, it's so natural for it to become a part of the conversation. You don't even realize how much you're probably doing it sometimes.
I really, as an observer, right, of the two of you when you're in the house, it's pretty obvious that a lot of that is pushed by that. And so going back to your newspaper analogy, I almost feel like the subjects as well that you end up talking to your friends about is actually a smaller subset than you realize, right? When you used to have an old newspaper, it would have different sections, right? It would be world news, U.S. news, different things, right? Right. I feel like yours is kind of almost limited to actually a much smaller subgroup.
Why?
It's fashion.
I can see that.
Because you get pushed the same stuff.
You get pushed the same thing that you're already interested in. So you don't get to cross the divider.
Well, it depends.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. And go maybe talk about what's happening in Japan right now. You never have that conversation with your friends if you're all talking about the same thing because you're already pigeonholed and you just keep going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I think it depends on who your friends are. I feel like if your friends are a bunch of people who are similar to you, then that's going to be all you talk about.
Right.
But if your friends are people like, I go on YouTube and I watch interviews and all kinds of stuff about all kinds of stuff. Like literally anything you can think about.
Right.
So like, whether it's world news and stuff like that, I'm tapped in with that kind of stuff. South Africa, I'm tapped in what's going on in South Africa. Whether it's Palestine or what's going on in Russia, what's going on in Japan, even what's going on in China. Like, I'm tapped in with stuff that's going on.
Okay.
So it's like...
Well, who can you talk to about it then?
I could talk to him about it.
Okay.
But a lot of times I'd like to just digest information and just like put it into my bank.
Right.
You know?
Right. Your story.
Yeah. And then just like, I'll just like ponder on it, think about it.
Right.
And then, use it at some later date.
Right.
But I mean, I know that like, I don't know. Most people don't do that.
Most
people are not like, oh, just searching for knowledge or searching for information. Me, that's just what I do in my free time.
Right.
Like I'll do that to go to sleep.
Right.
Like that's just what I
know.
do. So for
I'm aware.
So that
I have to go and turn it off most of the time.
Yeah. So that's just kind of how I am.
Tevin, what are you?
I think you're getting the same breadth of information because I follow like a wide variety of Instagram channels, and some will give me a wide variety of topics. Like there are certain things that I'll come up on Instagram that I'll see. And again, I'm like forced to sort of see this.
Right.
And I might have no interest in it at all, but now I've seen it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
So they'll introduce you to something.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say like the topics are always limited. I think like content creators do get incentivized to become very niche. So a lot of the time they will try to stick to one topic. But I think the thing that they're really niche about is about their perspective on the topic. So even if they switch topics, you tend to like want to see them because you kind of expect, what they're going to say about it. So I think the real risk of social media is less that we're not seeing as many topics. There's plenty of times people say something like, oh, did you hear? I'm like, missed that completely.
Right.
Versus like,
how deep you go.
It's easy to get sucked into one person with one viewpoint and fall down that rabbit hole.
Right.
And that's why I think we start to see a lot of people very radicalized on topics that may be very like lighthearted or just like more serious topics. It's because like, we're not as used to, and before, like newspapers, for example, showed you both sides of a coin.
Right.
I don't think we're getting that as much anymore.
I mean, I feel like you still get it, but I feel like you have to be intentional about it. And that's just part of the, like we talked about in the last episode, the confusing nature of what it is to be a part of this generation. Like with newspapers, like they'll come and, you know, people needed their newspapers.
Right.
It's not like people wasn't addicted to newspapers. They were like, I need my daily this.
That's true.
So they needed to know what was going on. Same way people do now. But I think that it's important to realize that like this social media stuff is highly influenced by the individual and how much they want to know.
Okay.
Because if you want to know a lot, you will learn a lot.
So the real question is, how predictable are you to the algorithm? Is your social media newspaper 1 page wide or is it 8? Are you getting all of the same topics because the algorithm knows you that well? Or is it confused because you have a diverse set of interests? Questions to ponder, things to consider. By the way, what's going on in Australia right now? Do you know? See you out there. What your mama didn't tell you. The podcast.